Hello and welcome to the Workhates Podcast. I'm Bron Lewis. This is Brady Blake. Everyone has a nightmare work story, whether it is a shitty boss, an awful workplace, or an insufferable colleague. And if you've had none of those things, chances are you're the problem.
You are the problem. Today we are joined by comedian, actor, and mayor of Brisbane, Nick Carr.
Thank you.
Oh my Lord, it's an honour and privilege. We had no ribbons for you to cut. We don't know what to do.
Very
How are you going to feel? Oh my
Very
God.
humbling. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me
Of
both.
course,
Thank you
of
for
course.
coming to our great fair city. As Lord Mayor in Brisbane, it's my honour to welcome you both. Welcome back for Bron, because you were
Thank you.
briefly
Yes.
a resident and then you fucked
Yes,
back off to Melbourne, so that was cool.
But I really enjoyed my time here.
Yeah.
And you were one of the first people I met. I remember we're in Good Chat Comedy Club right now, and the first time I ever met you was here. And I watched you do stand-up.
Standing right there. Standing right there on the
standing right
corner.
there, yes.
Yep, that's it. We talked. Yeah.
Yes,
Really?
and then you
Yeah.
did stand-up comedy. The stage was over there.
Oh, the stage was over that side
And
that
I think
time.
you got in down to your undies, and it
Classic.
was so funny. It was really, really funny. Yeah.
And Bron went, you know what? Anyone can do comedy. If this is the bar, I'm fine.
I can make it here.
I think I was heavily pregnant at
You
that
were.
point.
I remember that. Yeah.
And
Well, you weren't pregnant before you went to the gig, but as soon as Nick took his shirt off, you're like, whoa, I'm 8 months ready to go, and Nick's
was-
the dad.
I'm
pretty
responsible for a
sexy.
lot of spontaneous pregnancies on
Oh my
stage.
God. How many
Yeah.
kids have you got out there, son?
Yeah, quite a few. I'm not going to acknowledge any of them, but
No.
no,
Why would you?
absolutely.
No,
As a
dude, that's
man,
going to
you
cost
don't
you
have
so
to.
much money.
There's a lot of little redheads going around. Anyway, yeah.
We had Gemma Bailey on just before you, and we mentioned you quite a few times, more times than I thought. I didn't know you were going to come up at all.
No.
I
But
do,
in the
get
intro.
little like every
You're
time I
in
do duck into an
everything.
episode, I just get a little like
You get a little mention.
A
You're
drive-by
in a
shooting,
lot.
a
Your
little drive-by shooting.
No, it's not really. We love you. Everyone's
Yeah.
a big fan. I love talking about it because Gemma Bailey on the last episode, she lived above you. You lived below her, and we're talking about how all the comedians used to borrow that apartment, and it was just like a sea of sad depression people.
It was pretty grim.
Or Nick Carr just being a mad rooter and having a good time
Yeah,
downstairs.
see, I didn't know that part. That's
You didn't
what
know
I
that?
learned. I didn't know
I
you were a
kept that
mad
from you,
rooter.
Bron. That was a little secret. I didn't think you'd respect
Well,
me if you knew how much I was rooting. I don't
He
know.
got you pregnant and you didn't know he was a mad rooter?
Yeah,
I mean,
it would have been awkward for everyone to find
very
out that way.
sneaky.
Yeah, well, that's it.
But it's true. People love to. There are, like you say, drive-bys. One of the first times I was on Dum Dum Club ROP was. Carl Chandler said, "Hey, come on to the pod," and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine." He just has comedians all the time.
Yeah.
That's normal for him to ask me on.
Yes.
But he had me on
Oh, no, I
to
love this one.
ask.
That's what I just said at your place. Yeah, yeah.
Almost immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
Sat down.
That's
It was
100%
myself,
why.
Danny McGinley. I don't think he spoke once in the entire
No.
episode.
Yeah.
Because Carl just said, "Okay, so Bron, good to have you." Nick Carr stayed at your house recently in Melbourne.
Yep.
And what was that like? I was like, oh, it was fun. And then I realised the whole point of me being on the podcast was to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, yeah.
And I...
Really? On Dum Dum, they throw
I
you under the
know.
bus. I've
Nick,
never
I
experienced
know.
that.
Quite
Cut
bizarre.
to them rocking up to me, homeless at the beach at Rosebud, going, "Your life's shit. Your girlfriend's fucking fucked off. You're fucking poor. You're a loser. Anyway, bye." And then I was just sitting there with my own thoughts, trying not to kill myself for the next 2 days. Like, God, it's good having mates. Does anyone else want to hang out and have a beer? No, we're busy. We've got partners to get home to. Must be nice. Bye.
Yeah. Anyway, after shitting on you for a full hour, it's like, the episode's done. It's like, oh, you guys want to hang out? No, we're going home, man. The episode's done.
We actually don't like you that much, Brett. Bye. But yeah, that was a fun story though, because I did enjoy that. Because not that I don't think we're drive-by shooting you, or maybe we are, but I love a classic Nick Carr story.
Oh my God,
yeah.
that's so
Because
beautiful.
you've always got a good yarn. You're always up to something, and I just find you a very hilarious person. I'm like, the idea that you would, because the reason why you were staying at Bron's house is because it was Nick Capper's Bucks.
Yeah.
And we went maggot. And you were like, you know what's a great... I said, stay at my house. You're like, nah, Bron's offered up. I was like, oh, Bron's kids must be away. They weren't. You just got maggot till
that's
2
fair
a.m., went into the front door, and then appeared in the morning, bleeding from the forehead. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, we'll just back it up a little bit before we rinse Nick Carr. Can you just tell us why?
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
Can you just tell us what you
why,
had planned?
why I'm like the way I am?
No. Brady, can you tell us what you had planned for the Bucks? And can you just tell us what you thought was a good idea for this Bucks party?
Which specific part? Are you talking about the Crusty Demons that was playing, the Buck and Bull, the both male and female strippers, equality?
Yeah.
Yes. Is that what you're referring to?
None of them.
Are you referring to the subway incident?
No.
The little person?
Oh, okay. What's that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You don't know that one?
What's the subway bit?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, I wanted to hire.
He's just trying to get you to say it.
I will back myself on this.
Okay.
No one else did, and that's why it got cancelled. But I was trying Bucks Entertainment, and I was like looking up MCs. I wanted someone fun. And the person who did was an MC for Bucks parties just happened to be a small person. And I'm from Melbourne, so I believe in diversity in lineups.
No, you're not from Melbourne. You're from Perth.
I'm from Melbourne.
Okay, Perth.
Diversity in lineups.
Yes.
And I thought, and then I was chatting to the guy and we got along really well. And I thought it'd be funny to have Nick Carr for his Bucks party dressed as Jared from Subway and the smaller person to be dressed as a child. Funny, because he's a pedophile, and it'd be funny if Nick, if he goes, I'll handcuff myself to Nick, and I was like, this is hilarious, and no one else thought it was funny, and you know what, I stand by it. I stand by it. Having Jared from Subway there and a child going, he fucked me, is hilarious.
Oh my God.
Look, I'll be honest, as a
Queenslander?
Yeah, Queensland. As a Queensland country boy from a somewhat rural area, who's been to many Bucks parties, I stand by it.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of, like, it's always Bucks parties, there's always some dickhead who's like, well, let's just put him in a dress. At least there's layers to it. Like, you know, like, for all the... No, I was on board. When all the terrible ideas you had, when you rang me and you were like, I'm going to do this for Cabs Bucks, I was like, fuck yeah, how much you need, bro? Like, I'm in. I was fully in. I was like, this is funny.
It just so happened that it was his idea as well.
Who said no then? Everyone else?
Like every other sensible person, yeah. Everybody with any shred of...
I've never had so many slide-ins to my DMs like, hey, we might not be able to rock up if this is your idea. I was like, dude, it's not my idea. I just found him on a website and then we were chatting about it, and he's a comedian as well. And he's like, I was like, oh, this is the idea. And he goes, oh, man, what about... And I was like, dude, yeah, if you want to do that, that's fucking hilarious. Parts of it, I prodded him in some ways, but I'm sorry for giving you $1,000 fucking dollars.
So did you have to cancel him? You cancelled that idea, but did you have to cancel him?
Didn't he not show up or something?
No, I paid him out of my own fucking pocket. Thank you, PC Madness. No, I'm joking. I'm in Brisbane for 2 minutes.
I know.
No, but I felt because everyone was, I was like, and he goes, oh, dude, I'm just an MC. And I said, look, if that's okay, I'm out. Or we won't do that. We'll do something else.
I was going to say, I think the real differential between the people who were on board and people who weren't is people who had a career to lose.
Oh my God.
No media profile. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, let's sick. How many strippers? Let's get more.
Dude, there's a reason why your phones was put into a lock bag.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry for being fun, guys.
What I loved about it was that, because every Bucks party, there's one cooked thing. Like there's,
one.
And it's like, and then it just gets great. Like it's just, there'll be like, I went to one where it was like everyone there was just the tightest person alive, and the groom was like, so like straightforward with no strippers. I don't want strippers. No strippers. We can't have strippers. I'm not interested in it. Don't fucking. He's like, I'm not fucking around. Don't get it. My wife's on board, and we were like, cool. So I bought a bunch of nangs and thought I'm just gonna have a great time. That was
a big hook turn. Okay, so you don't want strippers, so I'm just gonna be paralytic off nangs.
Yeah. I went through
if there's no strippers, I may as well be in a coma the whole time.
I went through a real stage. I bought like a whole, like, you know, because I ordered online. It was like 1,000 canisters or something for it. So I was just trying to get everyone.
You've got to use them all.
Yeah, I was just trying to get everyone into Nang so I could just get rid of it. Like, you know, I just burn through it. Anyway, that's a whole different
such
thing.
a big hook turn. And also, like, you know what? Get this party started. Everyone asleep. Brain dead for 10 minutes. Hell yeah.
No, you're only brain dead for about 30 seconds and then you're good to go.
Dude, I did my first ever Nang when I was in Edinburgh. I did not like it. You're like, oh no. I was like, Dad's going down.
You really like it.
Dad is going. It was 5 a.m. I already had heaps of other things like Dad's down. No, Dad's back up. Dad, no, he's back down.
Yeah.
I'm not good for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's a bit like he's describing exactly what it is. It's good. Yeah. But that was the thing, like, and so like, I did a bunch of names, but anyway, that's not the highlight of the story. But the thing was like, so they did get one lonely stripper. And then, like, it was just the weirdest thing ever. Because, like, because they're cheap.
Even though he said no.
Yeah, so he was
please
so...
don't.
But it's like, rather than getting, like, 10 or something and having a party of it. They've just got one lone stripper, and then it's just one
that-
poor
so
girl
it's never-
by herself.
It's not usually just one.
Well, I don't know. Like, again, it hasn't happened much, but then, you go to these. The only time it really happens is you go to the odd bucks party or whatever, and it's always someone you don't know that well. Or it's like I knew the groom really well, but I didn't know any of his other friends except for the other friend that we went to school with.
That's why I wanted the MC as well, because I was like, because it was like there was ping pong, there was a bucking ball, there was heaps of like activities, and I know what people are like, oh, I don't want to do that, it's lame. So I was like, oh man, if we get an MC for the day, here's the events. He's like, yeah, man, I run the events. I'll be up here doing this.
Yeah.
We do speeches. We do that. So he was kind of coordinating the day because that's his fucking normal job. And then I was like, yeah, and also just come dressed as a child, and that's fine. You know what I mean? So
What I love, your idea.
Yeah,
you little fucker.
Yeah.
Blame the small person.
No.
But what was great was it was the layers of it. It was like there was so many cool things going on at once, and it was just I think there's a comedy in it.
Top 5 bucks parties you've ever been to without that. But imagine
100%. It was so fun, and even down to like being able to sit back and like getting into all the fun stuff. Like, I was riding the bucking bull with my clothes off. Well, that's right. You got me to do in
the nude.
No, not in the nude. I had my underpants on, but you did at one point. You got me to give because we couldn't get the little person anymore. You needed something to spice it up. Oh, that's right. And not all the strippers showed up, so I gave
There's no male strip because we wanted because there was girls as well at the Bucks party. So I was trying to get one male, one female, and then the guy who organised it just sent 2 girls. And I said, I messaged him. I said, hey man, I organised a guy and a girl. And he goes, yeah, no, there's only 2 girls available, but don't worry, she's recently got her breast plants removed. And I was like, so in your mind, that's the same as a guy, is it? Oh, dude, she's fucking useless. She's got no tits. She may as well be a bloke. She's trans.
Do we get a discount? Depending on how many cup sizes she went down? But
I really found out that I was from Perth that weekend. I was like, guys, I've got a fucking idea. And everyone's like, no.
It is that thing, though, where you're in a room full of comedians and it's all going off. There's ping pong, there's all this sort of shit. And then just there's all these, you could feel anyone with a career was just standing at the side of the room just being like,
no, they go.
I'm not. The rest of us were all getting maggoted and having a great time. It was one of those ones where if you just get into it and you ride the bucking ball or whatever. I think I gave Capra a lap dance or something because they said they got a second trip and it was just me. No, I wasn't in a dress. I was nude. I was nude.
That's why I confiscated people's phones because I wanted everyone just to have a good time.
You did confiscate. That's actually clever.
Yeah, I was like, if I see one phone, I'm gonna fucking hit you, and I'm serious. And I got phones off people. I was like, because I understand that some people do, and no one wants to see someone getting a fucking lap dance. It doesn't sit well with some people.
Like that was it. The grimmest shit happened was I was giving Capra a lap dance or whatever, and it got pretty graphic at some points. I went all the way.
I remember. I saw everything.
It was grim.
But you want to remove that little bit of thing so people just have a good time and fucking a bit of wholesome fun.
I do love that about comedy. I think sometimes comedy still gets viewed as this rock and roll on the edge, and then there's just a bunch of dorks in the back of the room going like, I don't want to ride the bucking bull. What if I fall off?
It was literally like half the room were like sending it to another level, and the other half of the room were checking out the timetable from their autism. You know what I mean? It was like, that's why I wanted the MC to bring everyone together.
Holding up their nose while they're in line to rail something off the toilet bowl. I'm not being a part of this.
That is fair because one of the strippers did a massive shit because we were using the ladies' toilet to have conversations, and she came in. She's like, "Oh yeah, what do you guys?" And we're like, "Oh yeah." She goes, "Oh yeah, don't worry, I'm just gonna quickly use the toilet next door." We're like, "Oh god, she's doing a quick tinkle." Just let out a hectic shit, dude. It was like
whilst you're in there.
Yeah, it burnt. It burnt my nostrils more than the other stuff I was doing in there. I was like, fuck, dude, this has got some tang to it. I could taste it. She was not holding back. I was like, oh my Lord, what an angel.
Yeah. Well, it's because she took her breast implants out.
No, it was the other one. It wasn't even the bloke one. No. It was the one with titties, dude.
So that's why Carr wanted to be on, because he was like, so what was it like having Nick Carr there after that Bucks party?
2 a.m.
And I was like, oh, okay, I understand why I'm here. And so at this point, you're there for a reason. Yeah. I'm like, I understand what you want me here for. But I was like, Nick's one of my closest mates. I don't want to, this feels awful. Yeah. Because you didn't do anything crook. You weren't, you didn't upset anyone. You weren't badly behaved, but this is what did happen. So you went out. Good on you.
This was the night of the Bucks party. Yeah,
this was the night of the Bucks. Have a good one. Hooroo. See you later. He took off, and then at I don't even know. It was like in the early hours of the morning, because I you were in one bedroom. And I think there's 4 bedrooms off that, and a lounge room off that hallway.
Hanging out with the fucking queen.
Bronny can't even remember how many bedrooms are in a house. Oh, is it upstairs or downstairs? I don't know.
There are 5.
Yeah.
Anyway, you went down the hallway. And the light went on. The hallway light went on, and I was like, "Oh, he's trying to find his room." I was like, "Christ, I hope he finds the right one." There's so many children down there, and then things
And
like
look,
lights were going on, like da. And then eventually you found the room. I was like, "He's done. He's found it. Great." And then in the morning, I was in the kitchen. All 3 kids were sitting at the breakfast bench eating their cereal, and then you walked in to the kitchen. And you were just wearing your T-shirt and your pajama shorts. And I said, "You all right?" And you said, "Oh, I can't. I've left my phone in an Uber. I need to get my phone. Oh, it's okay."
Full panic stations. Yeah.
All 3 kids turn around to look at you, and you were like, awful. You'd only been asleep for like 90 minutes, and I was like, "Okay, are you all right?" And you go, "Yeah." And I was like, "Nick, you're bleeding." And you were like, what? And I was like, why is your head bleeding? And you were like, "Oh, fuck, I don't know." I said, "That's okay, just go to the bathroom, wash it off.
Yeah.
And the
kids can't stop crying.
Yeah. You went into the bathroom, and the kids turned around, the girls were like, "Is he okay?" I said, yeah, fine. They're like, "Why is he bleeding?" I said, "Doesn't matter, he'll be fine, he's washing it off." You came back out of the bathroom, like, I don't know, 10 minutes later. You had not washed it off at all. I think you
in my defence,
confused.
I did have a head injury.
I couldn't figure out why he wasn't listening, paying attention. He's fucking concussed, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, but you came back out and I was like, "Nick, you're still bleeding." And you're like, "Oh, shit, sorry, I've got confused what I was doing."
What were you doing in there? Were you rummaging around looking for something?
I honestly,
who knows?
I genuinely,
Who
I
knows?
was pretty out of it. Yeah.
But that was the worst it got, and it was fine. Like, the kids wouldn't even remember it. It was not, but I knew why I was in there. Yeah. And so you must feel like you are the butt of a lot of jokes because of moments like that where people go, tell us how he fucked up. I'm like, well, he didn't really fuck up. It was actually fine.
I think it's the thing. It's like, because you do all sorts of loose stuff on stage, because I'm always drunk, but I'd always wait till after I'd done my set, or generally, like, there's a couple of times where I probably drank too much before I went on. But
we've hanged out before, I'm aware.
Yeah, that's it. Sometimes you fuck up, but most of the time, like,
went into Toowoomba.
It's kind of.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I think there is part of it. It's because Toowoomba is so far away, and my work, my day job's so different to comedy. I do kind of see there as being a bit of an invisible wall. Like, I'm like, well, these won't. I can just come to comedy and just have fun and not worry about being a serious person.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that, like, Carr's like 35, like, or nearly 40. It was like, he's not gonna, like,
35.
whatever.
We're 40 this year, mate.
When that happened, I was 35.
Right.
I'm trying to think,
Sure.
but it's like, I think they think that that's the stage persona is the only part of who that's all I am is the fuck around. But it's like, oh no, that's like a bit of a character. Like, I'm generally
my God!
more,
And that's when you're letting loose because you have a real job.
Yeah,
and you're a very smart man, and I love talking to you about politics. And I don't understand most of it, but you explain it in a way even I understand, which I appreciate. Thank you very much. But I'm like, I was like, man, I want to see more of that on stage as well because I'm a big fan of your comedy. When you started getting more into the political stuff, I was like, fucking loved it for you. You know what I mean? So it's, but you do get kind of stuck into a fucking, a character or whatever the thing of that path is. And people are like, look at Carr. And I'm like, dude, he's fucking a smart fucking guy. Like, he's a really switched on dude. And he's got a hard job and he's got a fucking house and a car. And he's doing heaps better than me.
It is that thing. Like, you do have a certain level of response when you've been paying a mortgage for like 20 years or whatever. And then you come to comedy and everybody's like still, doing part-time shifts at the barista or, at the coffee shop or whatever. And then telling you to get your life together. You're like, okay. Like, all right. I think I did. It was my fault. Look, part of it, and especially, not to let Carl off the Dum Dum Club off the hook too much for that, but like there was the time before when I came down where I did. And you know what it is, actually, I'll be honest, because I am a big, not so much now, but like I was still quite a heavy drinker because it was like a bit of a, man, especially when I come down to Melbourne, it's like I'm on holidays. Like, I've got the day off, so I'm down there hanging out going, this is because I have to take time off work, so it is a holiday.
It is.
So I come down there and I'm like, oh, cool, all right.
Yeah, fun.
Day drinking.
I'm like, all right, who's hanging out? And everyone's like, no, we're still just doing our lives, mate.
I've
You're
got
like,
half a shift at the cafe, mate.
Yeah, that's it. I've got nothing to do. And the other thing is in Melbourne, you lot only have heavy beers on tap most times. And so...
Okay, blame me the percentage of alcohol now.
Well, it is because I'm drinking like at the pace I'm used to. And that's like, and when you drink heavy beers like that, it makes you a space. And so like, I did one time.
Every beer is like 8.9%.
Yeah.
Why am I fuck-eyed?
Lucas's favourite drinks, it's the purple bolters. So
they're strong.
6.7%.
Yeah.
So they're 4, and you'll get 4. And as soon as he's finished the 4th one, he is just so maggot.
You can't
and I'm
speak.
like, I'm like, this is not. It's only 4. You just had 4 beers, mate.
Yeah.
Why are you like this? I'm like, you just gotta. It's just the session beers.
Get on the fucking mids, you know. It's fucking.
So Nick, what is your job? Like we talk about you having a job, and it's so funny. Imagine it. The big reveal. What is your job?
I am a residential property valuer.
Whoa!
Primarily. It's not as fancy. Well, I mean, it is fancy. It's complicated. It's not as fancy as it used to be, but it did used to be quite a fancy, well-respected job. I think. What
do you mean? What's changed?
Oh,
they hide Nick. And
he's
he's rocking up naked and shit. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I go out someone's backyard 5 minutes. I come back in with a bleeding head, and they're like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Nothing. Shut up, Olive."
Value yourself, dickheads. I'm out of here.
But I would say it's still a fancy job.
Yeah. It is. Look, it is.
What
it's
do you
the same
think's
as
changed?
like capitalism, like the same as everything.
Sure.
It's like because most of the industry is dominated by like the mortgage and mortgage insurance, like for finance and stuff for people buying houses. And again, when your customers are all like the big major, all the banks, then it's like anything. Like there's money to be made. Everything. Yeah. It's the same as I used to. One of my first jobs was in a pizza shop, and you see it going the exact same way. And it's like, you get a few big players in an industry, and then they start setting the prices. They drop prices down or whatever. Then everyone else drops their prices down because you go, well, if we don't, we're not going to compete. Yeah. And then like everyone's
they're fucked. Then they go bank ass up, and then Domino's like, oh, we're good to go, and now we raise our prices again.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why I was like, don't buy shit from Coles and Woolworths. Go to independents because they do that. Fuck the market, jack it up. And everyone's like, how are they price gouging? It's like, dude, you allowed them to do that when they were selling shit for 30 cents, and you fucked it. That's why you buy cheap, you buy twice. Anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. So so it's just kind of gone that way. It's just like as anything, as time's gone on and technology gets better, and so everyone expects everything faster, but then everyone says they care about quality, but then they don't really. It's like quality is the most important thing, but then also getting it out the door as quickly as you can. That's the most important thing. And it's like, but like you can't really have one. No, you can have both. You can, and you just can't. Like it's just not sustainable. So especially like at a time like it is now when we're living through a housing crisis, and that's the thing. It's a housing crisis for some people. Some people have never made more money from doing less in their entire fucking life. So it's like, for some people, it's a gold rush. Like that's the other thing. It's like they talk about it on the news only in terms of the housing crisis, and it's a crisis for the people at the bottom. For people at the top, it's a fucking gold rush. They've never made more money. It's insane.
Yeah, it's like all the politicians, all the rich people, all those fucking all who are doing golden handshakes and doing deals and fucking donating to they're like, this is great, guys. Let's fucking keep going. Let's make things more expensive. I'm making heaps of money by doing fuck all. The rest of us cunts are like fucking every double income, fucking doing 12-hour days, not seeing your fucking kids because to pay for everyone else's fucking shit.
Yeah, that's it. Well, because it blows me away. Because people say to me all the time, but nobody really knows how to fix it. Nobody knows what to do. It's like, there are so many, there's heaps of economists that know exactly how to do it, but they're not the ones sort of, that the news, would interview or whatever. They're not the ones, and this sort of gets a bit conspiracy.
It's not though.
But it really is. It's like there are heaps of people that actually know it and, know what to do about it, but we get ignored. And it's like, who do they interview on the news when they're talking about all this stuff? Oh, they get someone in from the real estate industry who are genuinely, who have a direct incentive to keep things going because they've never... real estate agents, I know some of them, it's a bit of a mix. Some of them are genuinely decent, people or whatever. But
I haven't met one.
Yeah, there's not. The percentage is quite low. The percentage is quite low. But there are some that are just genuinely good people. But just trying to, and it's usually the ones that have been around doing it for a million years. You go into a small, because a lot of what I do is working in small towns and stuff. And there's the ones that have been working there for a million years, who know the market, know the area, actually care about because it's the same as anything. Because they have to. Their reputation is all built on. Actually being able to help people. But then when you get a situation like this, heaps of people come in out of nowhere, and you just get all these young people coming in, they're still wearing their dad's ill-fitting suit. They've just, they couldn't hack as a chef, so now they're going to give it real estate a go. And just because they're good on the phones or whatever, they're making, and because it's a percentage, they get a percentage of it. Yeah. So whatever, so they're just incentivized to keep things going because the more things go up, the more they get for doing.
It's in no one's interest for property prices to come down to people who can drop. For real estate agents, for politicians who most of them have got fucking 4 investment properties and shit like that, and for the banks to keep the interest rates up high and people buying bigger mortgages, and then also for the people are working now to 75 instead of 65. We got more money coming in from tax and fucking blah blah blah. There's no reason for us. Why would we stop this? This is great. We're making more money than we've ever made before.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, it's on our fucking the working classes back, and it fucking shits me,
man. And it's like they'll ask a developer, like or someone from a developers lobby, or how do we fix it? And they'll go, it's all about supply, and because of course it is for them, because the developers they intentionally drip feed supply to keep the prices cracking up. Like they only ever do it. You look at any land development ever. They'll buy a big chunk of land and they do it in stages. Yes. They don't, and look, part of that is so that they can manage it, keep it more manageable, but it's also because you'll never see a second stage sell cheaper than the first one because they'll get a few going, get some cash behind them, and then they drip feed, because then each time, by then the prices go up because they say, it's hard to get into this stage sold out so quick. And so everyone that they talk to about what do you do about it is incentivized for things to keep going. And then for the Australian people, the more everyone that does own a house or people who have bought multiple, they sort of they buy into it as well because you bought into the system.
Yes.
You bought into this idea that you've got to have a house. And then it goes up, you think, well, shit, it's got to be good for me. This thing that I've got, it's the only chance I've got to possibly retire comfortably at all is owning this house and having it go up in value enough so that I can leave my kids with something.
Yes.
Hopefully it outweighs the cost of everything else going up. So at the end I've got something to live on. But what it really means is just everybody's just bought into this system where it's just making things worse. And then so you go, even though on paper, unless you are intending to borrow more money or something like that, on paper, having a house worth heaps more doesn't really help you in the moment. Your house having gone up, unless you want to borrow more to do an extension or a renovation or buy something else, buy a second house, that equity that you get really means nothing to you. Because you can borrow more, but then you borrow more and you're leveraged up. And so many people say, housing will never go backwards. There's no risk in housing. At the moment, that's kind of true because a lot of the levers are the government levers and that are sort of constructed in a way to take the risk out of housing as an investment. But the secret of investment, the real trick of anything investment-wise, you can't have profit without risk. That's why you get profit, for taking a risk. Yes. But at the moment, there's no risk. So everyone just keeps ratcheting up their debt, getting in more debt, and then everyone's convinced that, you've got to get in heaps of debt. It's the only way to live. Just live in debt.
Normalising $1 million loan.
Yeah, why shouldn't a young couple spend $800,000 on their first mortgage or whatever just to get into a shitbox? Because then for them to be able to fix that up, renovating or anything's become so expensive that you can't just save your money to do a renovation because to a renovation that used to cost you $50,000 5 or 6 years ago is going to cost you $400 now.
Yes.
And so
you got
for
one
that
on the way,
you
don't
can't.
you?
Yeah, we had we thought it was going to be. I had an architect come in, and I was like, look, I just want more natural light. I wasn't like, I want a second floor.
I've got a shotgun. I'll blow out the roof for you, mate. Done. $50.
I just wanted a few things, and I was like, and she was like, great. What do you reckon your budget is? This was about a year ago now, and I didn't even know what our budget was. Lucas wasn't there, and I went, I don't know, $200,000. And she went, what you've described is a $700,000 renovation.
Jesus.
And it wasn't adding another room, wasn't making the house bigger, wasn't going up, wasn't adding anything flash. It was an extra bathroom and more natural light. That's it.
Yep.
And maybe just refurb of the kitchen. It wasn't and I'm a chef, so I need fucking everything going.
19 stoves or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
It was just I'll just make that a bit nicer and whatever. And she was like, that's a $700,000 renovation. I said, okay, well, great. Well, not great, but would it be cheaper for us to knock the house down and just build again? And she said, no, that's well over $1 million. Yeah. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How?
It's an offensive, an outrageous.
And the way they build, the thing that pisses me off, we're working construction during COVID and shit, the way they're building houses at the moment, because they're doing it cheaper, quicker. Everyone's the problem with our fucking economy, everyone's it's all about, give dividend, shares, profit, which means you shortcut. Doesn't make anything better quality-wise. Houses at the moment, new houses look like shit, number one, but they're fucking built like shit.
Really
and they're not
bad.
even built for the climate.
Really bad.
Man, some of the houses we worked on, I'd be we were doing fixing fuck ups. those houses were only 15 years old and they should have all been fucking knocked down.
Yeah.
And the builder's a company. We go bankrupt, we start another one.
Yeah.
It's not me. I had nothing to do with it. Moving on. It's just a sea of fucking awful buildings.
There's so much
It's
at the moment.
fucked in Australia.
geared towards the... Sorry, you go.
No, well, there's a comedian here in Brisbane. I remember I was talking to her, this was a year or something ago. She bought a house here in Brisbane, or a townhouse, and the first a couple of months that she had it was a really big storm here, and the roof kind of fell in. Like there was rain coming down the wall, and like, how would you test for that when you buy it?
No,
you just have to be like, well, it's a house, okay, I'll just get it. And for her to fix it, because the insurance company's like, well, you bought it like that, so...
Yeah.
And,
And
and also the people who
It's your
sign off
problem.
on the houses, which is fucking insane. The person who comes off and does
Building
the
a pest
tick,
inspection.
they're paid by the builder.
Yeah.
So it's in their, once again, in their interest to go, yeah, that's fine. But
It's
when you
all
get
good.
independent people go,
Well, you
this is
get-
fucked, this is fucked, this is fucked, that's not draining properly, what the fuck? And water is the biggest thing that fucks up buildings and they don't pay attention to it.
Well, that's it. Yeah, you get like, so like it's all, the standards in that are usually governed by like state bodies or the council, and it's usually the local council has to come off and sign off on it. But what they get is, again, we've privatised that system as well, so there's got to be private certifiers. So the private certifier, again, like you say, you know, are trying to get business on board or whatever. So yeah, they'll get the builder will, who, you know, from the Gold Coast, or, you know, use that example here, like be a builder from out of town, non-locals, who've got 400 houses being built in the next month. So that certifier's like, well, I've got to keep these guys happy, and they've just got to churn through. Again, speed. It's all about speed and just getting through the volume of it. So yeah, they're not looking properly, and it's another thing that drives me crazy at the moment is whenever someone talks to you about supply, like, oh, it's a supply problem. We just got to build more houses. We've got to lower red tape. Red tape is there to protect you. That's all, and like it gets so lost because like everyone knows, like a small business, someone that's a small business owner that's one of their mates or something who's like, oh, all this red tape's killing me, and all they mean is they don't know how to fill out forms properly, you know, like, and it's hard because
Or they're not
you know,
complying to the standard,
yeah.
which is a standard for a fucking reason.
And yes, you could make more money if you didn't have to build to the standards and keep things, but then yeah, you're just ripping people off, and that's it. Red tape protects you, and so many. Like I have never seen more houses being built in my 20-year career doing valuations than right now. And at the same time, I have never seen more sloppy construction. I'm going into houses
sloppy
every day.
shit.
There are houses that are like 15 years old. I've been in houses that are 2 or 3 years old that are in worse condition than I've seen houses built in the 70s. Like it is outrageous, you know, like, and it's just time and time again, they're using construction methods that aren't suitable for the climate and the areas where they're being built.
That's a big one. They don't look at the weather and what happens, and they don't use the materials that number one coordinate with that. But there was it was an apartment story, three or four stories high. And when we rocked up, my mate, who's a builder, Craig, who's a fucking great builder and actually has fucking pride in his work, and he rocked up to the insurance job to quote it, and he goes, oh man, all the rooms are leaking, and this is overflowing, and this is leaking, and he goes, oh, I can see what the problem is without even knowing, is your gutters are fucking so tiny for this surface area. They're actually illegal. They're about half the size they should be. That's why the gutters are overflows, goes into the house. All the walls were dripping wet inside, fucking mold everywhere. And that's the simplest thing. The gutters were the half the size they should have been. That is such basic building shit. And some cunt has rocked up with a tape measure and gone, that's fine, I'll sign off on that.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
no one gives a fuck. And these
No
poor
one cares.
people who have fucking put their life's fucking savings into this building are now fucked, and they had to go get like, and they're paying to rent another place while we demolished it for fucking 8 months.
Yeah, well, that's it. The majority of the
awful.
houses being built at the moment, at least again from my experience in the areas that I work, there's two streams of it. Very few people are building their first home. No one's doing that. So the idea is like, you know, if you increase supply or whatever, as people build more homes, then that's people who used to own old homes upgrading, you know, sort of building bigger, and then they'd sell the old home to the first home buyer or whatever. But now what it is there's the people who already are doing quite well are building bigger and better houses. These like absolute monsters. There's a lot of luxury houses, being like really high end quality build stuff, like really expensive build, really high quality stuff. But then they're not, because you know, like the system's set up so that people can just keep investing. Like the more houses you've got, everyone thinks that the better off you'll be. So they don't sell the old house anymore, because why would you do that?
Yes.
You can just rent that to someone for the obscene rents that people are paying. And then even if somehow the rent doesn't cover the mortgage, the negative gearing means the taxpayers covering you for the rest of the loss. So then they're just keeping it. So there's no new houses there. And the other houses being built are the out-of-state investors, people who are, you know, using self-managed super funds again. And I've gone to meetings with financial planners and mortgage brokers and stuff, and to talk to them about it, just to find out about how it all works. And like as they're going through it, it's like, wow, yeah, it's almost insane that you know, you wouldn't put all your super into housing at the moment because of the way things are.
Yeah.
But the scam, like the way it's all structured, it's just like the taxpayer's paying it. Like the taxpayer is giving you huge amounts of incentives like everyone else. So like if I went and took my self-managed super fund and piled in a bunch of housing, then you guys are paying taxes so that I don't have to pay, so I can make money off that. So you guys are paying more on tax to go to work, than I would be on that house, which is an extra thing. So it's like...
And hey guys, can we, politicians, can we quickly change the policy? Because this doesn't seem to be working out for us, the economy, Australia, the housing industry. Oh, we would love to, but that would really fuck my portfolio. So I'm not fucking changing anything.
Yeah.
How many properties did Scott Morrison have?
Oh my God.
Something. I mean, he wasn't even the worst one. Peter Dunn.
How did he even get a house on a fucking cop salary as well? I would love to know that, you fucking rat cunt.
Anyone else? Yeah, that's there's so many things that annoy me. You know.
And also, even that who's quite a character. Who's that fucking Queensland guy? But he's always worried about the crocodiles attacking people.
Bob Catter.
Bob Catter has got that classic one. Like, doesn't your wife own like 8 or 15 properties? And he goes, I'm unaware of my wife's investment portfolio because you don't have to declare it if you don't know it. So just going to the account going, so you're telling me the lady you share a bed with, you don't know she owns 15 houses, cunt. Fuck off.
She's a secretive woman.
He
respects women. So
Bronny, classic Bronny. She's just nipped up and bought another 5 houses. I didn't let my hubby know. It's only like $9.8 million missing from our account, but we didn't know.
Yeah, how many $1 million purchases have you made without telling the hubby?
Oh my God.
Classic.
It happens. Women be shopping, am I right?
Women, girls, am I right? Bitches be crazy. I went too far.
Hey.
Sorry, guys, we got too smart.
Because I've spoken to you on the phone. I've spoken to you on the phone quite a bit, not as much.
So you've probably heard that exact rant.
No, I love your rants.
Okay.
No, I love
but you have.
I'm always learning.
So what, like for renters out there, because I know that you deal with a lot of rural areas. You told me the story about going to see this lady who's in a rental house and she had to move out because it was like they were upping the thing. Like, what is it like for renters at the moment?
It's so green. It's incredibly green. It's like I see that every day. Like that's my day as a valuer. Like I'm going around and sort of, you do anywhere between 5 and 10 jobs a day. So you're just going into people's houses and so you see both sides. You see people doing very, very well who are, because it's anyone who borrows. Anytime there's any change to a financial to a mortgage, they'll send valuers in. There's less so now because, again, in another weird way, they're doing like desktop valuations, and again, they're trying to streamline the processes. All the same shit that led into the GFC that the banks did there, like in America. Like just like what can we do to make it easier for the banks to loan as much money as possible?
Right.
Like what corners can we cut so that people can loan?
And nothing ever historically has ever gone bad. So
no,
keep doing
when
that,
they do
guys.
that, absolutely, it's never gone wrong for anybody. But sorry, in answer to your question, like I've seen people doing, the people who are doing well are doing extremely well and doing better and better every day, and the people who aren't doing well, like people who are renting, are really struggling. I talk to multiple people a day who are, renting and just like, and because my job when I'm there is just to assess risk for the bank or whatever, and I would argue that often we're there to, I'm actually acting in the best interest of the borrower as well, whether or not they agree with that. Like if I say a house isn't worth as much as they would hoping it would be, as a valuer, I see that as like I'm actually protecting them in a way too, because like I'm an expert, I know what I'm doing. Like I've been doing it for 20 years. That's it. Like I know more about houses. So, if I'm telling someone, I think it's going a bit too hard on this, like it would hope that helps them. But people it's one of those jobs where it's pretty thankless. Not even when you're doing your job properly, or mostly when you're doing your job properly, everyone hates you because someone's not getting what they want.
Yeah,
because they want you to say the house is worth $4 million as opposed to $3 million.
So they can borrow heaps against it.
But then they might not be able to afford that, and they will fuck them in the long term.
Or if the market, that's the other thing. Like if the market corrects it all, if there's any sort of fall in the market or whatever, there's all these people that are leveraged at the absolute maximum, like that really have borrowed everything they can. If the market falls at all, then the mortgage will flip and the bank will take the house. Like that's how it is. If you can't pay that difference back, if your mortgage flips, and because like to buy a house, you've got to have your deposit or whatever at 20% or whatever it is. So you've got to keep your mortgage under that threshold the whole time. So if the mortgage flips and all of a sudden you've got $1 million house that's all of a sudden worth 800, all of a sudden and you owe 800 on it, you're technically you're in trouble. Like that's it, you're underwater. So the bank can it's when they start coming after you, you know. So
it's also scary, even the idea of just I mean, keep going with it, but when we talk about, you know, even getting a fucking deposit now, which is 10%, you go, that doesn't sound like a lot. It's now $100,000. Saving $100,000 when you're fucking, my rent's, I'm in a good place at the moment, rent, like, you know, I love my house and the rent's okay, it's manageable or whatever, but like to try and then save $100,000, how the fuck am I going to do that? I'd need like 10 ads or something like that. It's so hard to do.
You're not going to
and
do
then
it.
everything, well, groceries gone up, bills have gone up, electricity's gone up, gas has gone up. I'm like, how the fuck do people get ahead? Like, I literally can't.
I'm busting. You
oh, sorry,
go.
No, I just forgot that I was busting before I started.
No, that's okay. But what we're going to do, we're at the 45-minute mark anyway. So, guys, we're going to jump to the Patreon. If you're not already on the Patreon, we're going to jump. Oh, okay. No, then we'll keep. Okay, we'll pause. We'll pause.
Yeah, sorry. I've really.
No. I'll miss as well.
Mate,
I'll bring it in clean to make it easy for Josh. Because I was ranting about
your house,
cost of living.
groceries is going up.
Yeah. So that all impacts on that. So yeah, that was actually not clean because I had nowhere to go. We all just did a piss break, and I was like, guys, can everyone be quiet? I'm going to come back cleanly like a professional. I was like, I've got nothing in my head.
So
Big Daddy Blakey's got this under control.
So everything is getting more expensive. So do you think in your 20 years in being in this profession, do you think this is the worst it has been for renters?
This, yeah, without a doubt. And I think the big thing that's different, because I've seen the cycles before, I've seen it go up and down. The big thing that's really different this time, from the point of view of, weirdly, like everybody who's not already doing obscenely well, is that everybody it's this delusion that it'll never change. The housing's just going to keep. It's the expectation that it's just going to keep going up.
Keep going up and up. You got to buy in now. It's going to go up. You're going to lose money.
And so for the renters, like, it is just getting. The longer it goes on, the further it gets out of a lot of people's grasp. And for renters, you're just at the whims of, like, it's like just because you can't, and because often they are not only in some, you know, especially, like, it depends on where you are. Like, I know in certain areas like Melbourne and Sydney and that, the rents have been really high for a long time. So it's probably, and the property prices have been high for a long time, so it's not the case. But in some areas for a long time, like, the rent they're paying is more than what the mortgage is. So they're paying off someone else's mortgage and a little bit more. And then the bank will say, because they can't raise that $200,000, then they can't buy something. But they've been paying off someone else's house for a long time. So why can't that house be theirs? You know, like, it's so wrong that just because someone can't come, and like the only way I bought a house in 2013, and I'm not afraid to tell you, it had nothing. I didn't earn it. Anyone who says, like, you know, starting out like that, I was 22 or 24 or something, I'd fucked around. I had no money. It was just that my parents just had enough equity that they could go, and because the housing market in Toowoomba was so low back then, it was only, it was 200. I bought my first house for $250,000.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And I've got that in my car, like, console.
In your back pocket. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, where's the car located? I'm gonna fucking rob you. It looks like Brett's got a house deposit after all.
But in saying that, I didn't save any. I had no savings record. I spent every dollar, and still kind of do. Like, I am not good with money and never have been. Like,
you're very generous. I've gone out drinking with you, and also I've gone out drinking with you and people who just go nickel pay, can I get? And then you are just at the bar, you're getting rounds, you come back, and because this was when you were a heavy drinker, you'd finish your drink and you'd be, before everyone else, you'd be like, well, I'm going to the bar, and people go, oh yeah, I guess I'll have another vodka soda. So you're buying at the end of the night, I've watched people get maggot on your coin more often than not.
It is a funny way to find out that you've got more friends than you really, like, you know, people in comedy, especially in comedy, there's people who, like, won't give you the time of day, and then when they know I'm on one, they'll show up they'll be standing next to you, they'll just materialise at the bar, go, oh, Carrie, how you been? And you're like,
it's my best friend in the whole world.
Lucas is like that after a few drinks. When I first started dating Lucas, I was like, do your friends think that you're a millionaire? Because I've never seen them buy a drink once. Yeah. And if you are listening to this and you're one of Lucas's friends, yes, I am talking about you.
I'm like, beep, I always buy
you know what, I'll just say, I love Blakey. Blakey's he's in his brilliant house guest.
It's my detriment as well. I'm like, oh my God. It's the same thing.
And Lucas is the same. He's like, and that's why I like spending time with other people like that, because you don't have to, you know, like,
this one.
I was very jealous when you got, I think, was it Christmas or New Year's Day when one of you sent me a photo of you and Lucas, Brett Blakey and Lucas drinking together, or was it Christmas party? I was like, I feel like I'm really missing out, because it would have been, like, it's just a great hang with people who are just as generous, and when you got that vibe going, it's great. So I'm terrible with money, but I So the only reason I could buy I bought my first house, and I really had no interest at the time because, I saw very early on, again, this gets a bit into conspiracy theories. I'm like, housing's just a Ponzi scheme. It's like everyone you buy into it. And then once you're on the hook for the mortgage, you can't afford, you've got something to lose. Like, you've got to pay this thing and it's hurt me with comedy because I can't just go, I couldn't just join, I didn't start comedy till I was 30. I'd been working for so long. I had this mortgage, got your thing over your head. You can't just go, fuck it, I'm moving to Melbourne. Like, you can't just go, like, I'm throwing it all.
You're fucking trapped. You're trapped in your job.
I've got this thing, if I don't, because that's it, society's telling you constantly, if you don't pay this mortgage and you lose this house, then you've got no, especially when you can't start again when you're 40. Like, if you lose the house then, because you fucked off to Thailand to go hang out with Carl Chandler and paid your own way, to go hang out with Dum Dum fans or, like whatever. Like, if you've done that, then, if you blow it, then that's it. So it's like you're too afraid to take risks, and that's the biggest thing they say. And then
next thing you know, you're fucking 65 and you've wasted half your life working a job that you don't want to do to pay off a mortgage you don't really give a fuck about.
You don't make it anywhere in comedy and you don't have a house. It's like that thing. It's like you don't. So there's all that. So, sorry. I keep getting this straight. But the point I was going to make is I did not buy my house with any of my own hard work. It was just that my parents had enough equity in their house to go guarantor. And so I could buy that house basically without a deposit. Like, I didn't have a deposit.
Amazing.
They put it on, and it was just because they're generous. And again, not everyone's, I know plenty of people with very well-off parents whose parents aren't this generous and trusting. It's just that they were willing to go, yep, cool. So basically, it didn't even cost them money.
No.
It was just extra money on their loan, which then I paid off. I was paying for the deposit, so I didn't have to have a deposit. They borrowed the money against the equity of their house, so their house had gone up enough in value that there was enough that they could borrow for the deposit against that. So no actual money changed hands, no one saved any money, and then all of a sudden I could buy a house. And then it was like a few years later, my house had gone up enough in value for me having done nothing. Like, I didn't work hard. I haven't maintained the house. It's fucking fallen down. My fiance's going crazy because I have not looked after that house at all. I spent 20 years just being a bachelor, just going, fuck it, whatever. Who cares? I don't give a shit, But then now it's like we've got serious things we need to do. And, but it's gone up enough in value that I could then just borrow against it to pay my parents out. Like, again, no money of my own. There was just enough magic money in this fucking account, in this house is magically going up in value, that then the bank could take a bunch of money from them and give it to my parents' bank or whatever to pay it all out. So it's like none of it's hard work. So much gets thrown out in the news. So it's all about hard work. And it's like very little to do with property, and that has anything to do with hard work. It's how much risk you're willing to take and how much you've got behind you. So
into general wealth.
How much like leeway the banks and that will give you so that you can take that risk.
Yeah. And the other thing is what we talked about, like living in Toowoomba and regional or whatever, and it happened during COVID, which it still fucking blows my mind. It was like everyone left the CBDs and tried to go to the regional towns, and they go, well, regional towns are fucking so expensive now because everything's gone up because people are moving to the thing. But then when everyone moved back, so regional then went up, stayed at that price, and then everyone moved back to the CBD, and that went up again. So, but nothing came down. Nothing came down anywhere. Everything went up again.
Well, because they've kept the houses in the regional towns and put them all on Airbnb because everyone wants to go to the country for things. So you go to these small towns that, people again talking about supply, and then you go to any small town, like even there's small towns I go to that are actually dog shit to hang out in. Yep. But like there's nothing there really. There's stuff outside these towns, but staying in these towns would be horrific. But then you look on Airbnb, you jump down the map, and there's just every house that everyone bought during there is now $1,500 for the right weekend or whatever.
I deleted it, and I'm not throwing shade on people who own Airbnbs or whatever. If I get it, you want to make money, fucking awesome. Or people who use them, but I deleted that app 2 years ago because I think it's just fuck small towns. It's mucked. They should. It keeps hotels in check as well. Don't get me wrong, having fucking competitors, but I feel like it's fucked so many towns. Like I was in this beautiful town called Robe, and it's right on the ocean there. There was a comedy gig there. It was fucking awesome. And the owner of the bar is like, I've had to build a fucking house or like a student accommodation so that backpackers have a place to rent, which I give them free accommodation, because you cannot rent a house in Robe and be on a bartender's salary or which is a normal salary and live here in this town. So I have no workers. So it's easier for me. I have had to buy a house to put my staff in so I can actually have fucking workers.
Well, that was the same thing with Byron Bay. The Byron Bay, they were like, who's going to work at IGA when no one, like, these people can't afford to live here. And
there's no actual rentals, and they're so expensive.
Yeah, so all the rentals, they all moved into Airbnbs. And so IGA, they were like, fuck, no one's going to work here for minimum wage. because they can't fucking afford to live
Yeah,
here.
you can't do it. Yeah, I mean that's why I got self-service check-ins.
And that's why we've got to thank you,
Bron.
Bron, babe. Now, Nick, we both met you through comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Before we let you go into the Patreon, which, by the way, we've already recorded the Patreon. I love it. It's one of my favourite Patrons we've done so far. We talked to Nick about everything he knows about Ozempic and about how Ozempic has
because I'm a medical doctor.
You are not, but you have recently lost 30 kilos, and it's not just Ozempic. It's all these weight loss drugs. I really loved that chat. So if you're not already on the Patreon, please get on board. It's over 20 minutes of good chats about what has taken over Australia and probably the world.
Yes.
Or the Western world anyway.
Yes.
In weight loss. But that's on the Patreon. So before we go to that, we want to talk to you. So
the extended Patreon.
Oh, so the extended
Ronnie.
Patreon.
So basically, guys, we're going to leave you here. If you're on the Patreon, you get the extended episodes, which we're still confused by how it works. But if you're on the Patreon, you get a 10-minute extended, which we fucking talk about comedians' worst gigs they've ever had. But for everyone who's not on the Patreon episodes, please, if you're not on the social media, follow Nick Carr on all socials. What's your handle, Nick?
I think at Nick Carr Official.
Oh, my Lord. You got any tours coming up?
No, but I am in Deadlock 2, which is coming out on 20th of March. I was really happy to talk more about that too. That was really fun.
Oh,
yeah,
cool. So for everyone who's not on the Patreon, thank you very much for downloading and listening to the Workhates podcast. If you want the bonus content, $5 a month, you get extended episodes plus a bonus episode. Thank you.